Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned says he's ready to rock, so I guess let's do this. All right, Chiefs, Chargers tonight under the lights. Primetime, Arrowhead. It's going to be a blast. If you can't be there, come see us at Coyotes on South Glenstone. It's going to be a great time. We'll have the trailer out again for you to qualify to win it. But Ned's here to talk about your thoughts on this game, sir.
I think we're going to see each team try to out-blitz the other. I don't mean that on a defensive standpoint. I mean blitzing on offense. Whoever gets that ball first, and you've seen what the Chiefs do when they get it first, they're rocketing right down that field. There are no prisoners taken. Mahomes is going in for an early score and established a philosophy of, you're going to chase us. We're not chasing you. Well, I think the Chargers can play that same way. Justin Herbert is a pretty doggone good quarterback, folks. And I really think that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, the Chiefs have won 11 of the last 14 games these teams have played. Chargers have won here some recently, but, hey, Los Angeles, pretty good ball club. Justin Herbert threw last week for 3 touchdowns against the Los Angeles Raiders, and you saw what Patrick did against Patrick Mahomes against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, both of here's, I think, the key to this football game. Both of the defensive backfields are really going to get tested in this one. And the Chiefs may be just a bit compromised without Trent McDuffie being in there, and he won't be for the next month. He's out for 4 games. The Chargers' defensive backfield is not all that good, and they are compromised a little bit with Keenan Allen being out of there. Keenan Allen, folks, is a big wide receiver. He's also a very good wide receiver, but he's big and bigger than most of those D-backs. That makes a huge difference with the Chargers in their offensive scheme, but he has a hamstring injury and he's not going to play. Here's the matchup I think is going to be a passing one. I think it'll probably be a long game. What I'm really interested in seeing it as a TV person, former TV person, is how it's handled on stream. Now, the game will be just the same as you would normally, but how many people are going to be able to watch? I think it's extremely interesting.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Well, the ratings will come out, and we're going to talk about ratings a little bit later on in the sportscast. But that's the ratings for over-the-air television. This is different because it's streaming. It's Amazon Prime. Now, you can see it on other streaming outlets, but mostly it's Amazon Prime. Moi is not on Amazon Prime, but Moi does get some of the others. So we're going to go home and do a little testing after the evening has worn on, let's put it that way.
Ned's just going to come drink with me at the bar tonight so he can watch the game.
Not beyond the realm of possibility.
Better be. All right, let's talk about the union situation in minor league baseball. That happened while I was on vacation, which I thought was interesting. They brought that to fruition, and it's a done deal.
World record speed in getting this done.
I mean, it was like we started right before I left. I remember we had a conversation about, hey, they're thinking about doing this. And then literally the next week, hey, guess what?
It's done in 17 days, and that is totally unprecedented. Having a union in minor league baseball is totally unprecedented, but it really did have to happen. There's some of the salaries, and it's not anybody's fault. You don't want a player to become comfortable playing minor league baseball. You're grooming those people to be major leaguers. Not all of them are going to be, of course, but you don't want to make things too easy. But some of those salaries, which were as low as $10,000 a year. Now, that's not just poverty wages, folks. That is rocketing below.
It's literally impossible to live on.
It is. You couldn't. So what they've done is establish this union. It is not the same as Major League Baseball, although it is working in conjunction with Major League Baseball, but it's not the same. However, some of the benefits the guys are going to get is a whole lot better from what they have, and it'll make things a little bit more amenable in terms of trying to live a lifestyle. The fact is, it took them 17 days, and normally this takes about 17 years to do, but 17 days to do it, and how did it get done so quickly? Well, part of the protocol is that when you have an election, or when you have an acceptance by a certain group that they want to turn to a union, you have to take your plan before the National Labor Relations Board, have them study it, have them approve an election. Major League Baseball said, throw that garbage out. We don't want anything to do with it. These guys want a union, and they allowed us, though they do, give it to them. Period, exclamation point. It's all that counts.
God, it was the fastest thing to ever have an agreement in baseball ever, which is if the Major League guys are paying attention, maybe they can get stuff done in the future. Who knows? All right, it's probably one of the most embarrassing things in the world. You're at a party, you kind of make your rounds, you say goodbye to everyone. Everyone's like, all right, it's great to see you. You walk out, and then you come back in and you got to do some stuff. You got to return, and everyone's like, oh, we thought you left. You can kind of say the same thing about Serena. After all the hoopla about her being done,
she hasn't officially said she's coming back yet, but she's hinted at it.
But you get what I'm saying.
I do, and I really hope she doesn't decide to come back. Now, how this all came about is through television appearances on a late-night show on NBC and on a Good Morning show on ABC, if I'm not mistaken. But the person asked, what do you think about, Tom Brady came back, would you consider it? And her response was, Tom Brady had a pretty good concept, didn't he? And that is interpreted. She used that answer twice. And that has been interpreted now as being, maybe we're having second thoughts. Mike, I hope she doesn't, because I don't think she is. I know she's not, as a matter of fact, the player she used to be. Serena Williams in her prime would never have lost any of those matches in the U.S. Open. And she did win 2 and then lost in the quarterfinal match. Well, she's not ready. She hasn't kept herself in tune, in physical condition. That's not to say she can't play. She can. She's a fine player. But attempt to come back at a strong professional level like that, hey, that is really difficult to do when you are only playing in select matches. And you see that with Tiger Woods, even as injured as he has been.
Golf's a little bit different animal than tennis is, really. And it's age, too. I mean, you can only do so much, right? And it's interesting to see people like Serena and Tom Brady, for that matter, that have made this game or their game their life, so much so that they've devoted literally everything they can at that. And then once you get to that point where it's like, it doesn't matter how much time I put in, age has got me. It's kind of sad, because some people are left without anything after that.
You can't relate to it because you're too young. I can, because I'm too old. But it is very tough, trust me, very tough to let go of something you've done all your
life.
That's
what I'm saying. It's
every single day. Yeah, but in my case, I can relate to it a lot more than you can. It is so difficult, and it's not an ego thing. It is a life rhythm
I get
you get into. Now, the sports people on an active basis, I can't identify with them, but I can with a broadcaster. And at least for me, hey, it's what I've done. While I still can do it, I'm going to do it.
Thank God for that, and I'm glad you're here. And I'll hopefully see you next hour. Fingers crossed. So, Cardinals.
That's good.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's a long joke. I'm a big fan of the long con. All right. Well, Cardinals, Milwaukee. Albert get another home run yesterday?
No, Albert went 1 for 3. He did have an RBI in the game, but no, the Cardinals do win the game 4-1, but Albert did not have any home runs. I look for him starting tonight, maybe to go on a home run surge. The Cardinals are playing the Cincinnati Reds. They are not very good. It's a 4-game series in St. Louis, and with Cincinnati's pitching staff being, I don't consider them to be even major league level. I see Albert. And Albert, incidentally, is playing every day now. They have him in there. He was a DH last night. I see him grooving that swing and maybe getting some more home runs. He's only 3 shy of 700. Folks, please understand, he is not chasing a record as such. He's already the 4th all-time leading home run hitter in history. He passed A-Rod the other day, but he does want 700. There are only 3 players in history who've ever hit more than 700 home runs. He would love to be the 4th. He denies that that's a factor, but come on. Of course it is. 3 shy. So, no, Cardinals win and play the Reds starting tonight in a 4-game series.
Should be good. Do you think him playing so much is working against him?
Well, it can. I think a lot of that can be seen a little bit later on when they get into the playoffs and how far they go in the playoffs. You do not want to tire the guy out. He is 42 years old, and your stamina level, while he's in good shape, and while the designated hitter still is in the National League, it does take a toll on you getting ready to report to the ballpark every single day and go through the weightlifting, assuming he does, and all the regimen that goes into being a big-time professional athlete. That you don't want to do. You do want to rest him, but we'll see what happens. I think he is going to play, though, in every game until he gets over 700.
I hope you're right. Man, what an incredible season, and I'm so glad he's back in a Cardinals jersey doing this thing. It makes my heart happy as a Cardinals fan, and really, he's arguably one of the greatest players the Cardinals have had.
He's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, big time. All right, Royals, Springbirds, how'd they do yesterday?
Well, the Royals lost. They fell 4-0 to the Minnesota Twins. The Twins, as we mentioned yesterday, have gone through a nosedive here in the last couple of weeks. Now they think they still have a chance, and they do, mathematically, although it's a limited chance. However, beat the Royals last night by a score of 4-0. The Springfield Cardinals are playing down in Tulsa in the final series of the season, and yesterday they played under the sun. Now, I don't understand why that happened on a weekday noontime game when the kids are all in school and so forth and so on, but Tulsa decided to do that, and the Springbirds won it by a score of 12-8. Got some good hitting from the Springfield team, and down the stretch, this ball club's played pretty well. At this juncture, though, Mike, you're trying to impress the bosses.
Yes, sir, and hopefully have a seat there for you next year.
Oh, yes.
So, the big agenda today, Chiefs, Chargers, AFC West divisional opponent. It's Thursday Night Football. How in the hell are we going to get Ned's Amazon Prime account activated before the game tonight?
I don't know. I don't even know how you activate it.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because you can hear it right here, and you can lay on the couch, close your eyes, or play your crossword puzzle while you listen to the game.
Now, I want to tell you the truth, and this is the truth as I sit here. When I was a kid, that is how you listened and followed your pro team. Not all the games were on TV. In fact, Mike, back when I was a kid and in college and later in the Navy, the NFL allowed teams to televise their games on the road. You never televised a home game. Never. That was out. Now all the games are televised. And I'm not sure I agree with that whole process. But listening to it on the radio when you had skilled broadcasters like the guy I idolized, Bill Campbell, back in Philadelphia, these guys made the game come to life. They were so good. Their level of articulation and description and rhythm was really top-notch. Holdus is very much like that.
He's old school. Then that's why we love him so much.
Holdus does a great job of that. I do think he gets a little bit overly excited and things, but then again, that's okay. He's rooting for the Chiefs. All right, listening to him is fine. I'm glad you said that too, because the broadcast here on the Cave will start at 7 o'clock. That's the game. But then you have the always exciting pregame broadcast. And I am being facetious. The Ozarks pregame show, which is called Ned Talk, starts at 5 o'clock, runs for an hour. Then 6 to 7 is the Chiefs pregame show. Then the game itself. And
we will be at Coyotes Sports Cafe on South Glenstone with the Kingdom Teardrop. They're given away next year with Center Creek and New Air wood-fired oven. So come see us. Come get a drink. Come have some food. If you can't be at Arrowhead tonight, you know where to be at Coyotes with us. And definitely tune in to Ned and Joe and the B Team, 5 o'clock for Ned Talk. It should be a dandy of a game, and I look forward to being hungover and tired tomorrow, sir. Hopefully, if you do have problems, you know where to come find me. And
we will discuss the game tomorrow.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I'll have a seat waiting for you at the bar with me tonight, sir.